have to admit that it's not easy to sin these fan games. The majority of them either try too hard to bear similarity to FNAF's story, or write nonsense that would feel right at home on a future FNAF game storyboard. The thing is that all of the creators of these fan games made them as their token of appreciation for the franchise and in no way wished to profit off of them, hence why they were free to play. Even though the fanverse is trying to do that very thing with older upcoming fan games, but whatever. With all that said, I recently decided to play JR since it was personally a title that looked promising and definitely had its own story lined up. But then I wanted to make a video about it, so here goes nothing. This is a major pet peeve of mine when it comes to trailers, prematurely revealing twists in your story simply because it's the only way to hook your audience. Teasing the general idea of a story is one thing, but Mangle is supposed to be the final antagonist of the game. At least Steel Wool had the decency to not make Afton's appearance and security breach too obvious in its trailers. And they did it to hide the worst twist reveal in the entire series. You know that this game was made for YouTube or Twitch when the very first thing the game asks you is if you're planning on making content out of it. The design of every animatronic, especially the main four, is by far the best part of the game. Instead of making them paper mache or plastic, their costumes are made of an ill-fitting rubber that resembles the more authentic Rock-afire explosion animatronics that exist in the real world. This, in my opinion, increases the creep factor. Rich Evans was a ballsy 5-year-old to not piss his pants every year he went for his birthday because man were they unsettling. What does that even mean? I don't know. What does that even mean? A lot of good that costume ended up doing. Also, by the end, the ghost will enter the Barrens through the investigator's head, implying that spirits cannot return to the Barrens without a host. What's Pallbear hiding in a costume for? He's essentially in Fort Knox. Paranormal activity definitely plays a major role in the story, but how this affects the animatronics is a bit confusing. There's only one ghost haunting JRs, and it's established in both the game itself and this animation that she will lose control of one when possessing another. So how do the non-haunted behave exactly the same during gameplay? I'm wondering if it's because everyone that likes these games anymore think that animatronics are evil by default and don't need a supernatural entity to make them evil. The ghost is constructing the Mangle as a new host for herself, using the other animatronics to break themselves down to build it. However, the game doesn't make clear what her plan is after that. It's clearly not human-shaped, so it can't possibly blend into society just like Ennard managed to in Sister Location. No amount of human skin can fool anyone, and it's a miracle this did work for Ennard. Is this guy ever going to report his new findings to his superiors? The fact there's a singular ghost building a larger robot that is capable of dealing damage would be groundbreaking, but never addresses it and continues to play this stupid Among Us-like for the next 2 nights. This guy went from, you don't know me and I don't know you, but let's work together, to, I'll die for you, we're homies for life, within 3 days. Pallbearer has offered nothing so far to him besides an expedited death sentence due to the ghost being less content with a person snooping around her shit. If you enjoy pizza so much that you dream of it, then it's probably time to start making salads. Or you could just go now. What are your superiors going to be upset if you haven't determined who is haunted for the 1000th time? evil entity would rather play a game than outright kill our protagonist cliché? Trap her by surprise, as opposed to trapping her when she sees it coming?
Evil dies tonight!
Evil dies tonight!
The sixth night isn't that bad if you've still retained your FNAF 2 muscle memory, but how the night plays out is so cool I'll remove a sin. Okay, relax. Come on, Jacob, get a hold of yourself. Grammatical errors and subtitles can't take you that much out of a game, right? Right? Spirit Knife. Also, out of everyone Pallbear sent down to JR's, this guy is the only one to think of killing her when she's distracted? I'll never understand how a small pizza restaurant with animatronics that are already high maintenance can afford more expensive replacements. Where does that money even come from?
Your great aunt Birgit passed away. Birgit left behind a sizable estate of which you are the primary beneficiary.
JR, Juniors. Junior